Welcome back, my most ethical light and love crew. Yeah. There's a little bit of a switch up today. Just a little. Angels of light and love, I welcome you in to direct and protect these messages, my chakras, my auras, my space, my work, health, and wellness, and that of our children's. I also call upon the ancestors. We're going to do a little bit of necromancy. Just, calling upon their assistance. The most ethical of our ancestral realms. That includes our star families. Ascended masters of the like. To help, guide this one. Okay, this one's very much, when things happen, there's a different dynamic to when you expect them to happen, especially when it comes to death. So when you know that there's somebody who has failing health, and you know that how it's going to influence a lot of things. When it actually comes around to the thing doing its thing, it's a different sentience. So I feel very far removed from this one. I feel very, 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 very far removed. And I've asked myself several times, why I feel, I don't even know if numb is the correct word for this. I don't feel angry at myself for feeling this way. I feel like I really have to vet where I'm coming from, what my motivations are when someone in the family passes away, even if they are extended. Because this particular person held a very, very strong role. So I guess in a way, I kept doing this for the past few hours, interrogating myself, because I kind of felt guilty. I just didn't understand why I didn't feel anything, but I couldn't quite label it numb. And I realized within the past, I don't know, half hour to an hour, after taking a good nap, was that I said goodbye a long time ago. I said goodbye a long time ago. It came to the point where I was almost like separated. Now let me backtrack here so I don't sound so cryptic. So maybe you can understand without all of, just to pair in some details. Because I know some will understand without all the details, but there are others that are living within a scenario where details do matter. So this particular person gave me a better view of what a mother could be. And this is not downplaying my own mother, but it's when society paints a certain picture for certain roles in our lives, we kind of adhere to those expectations. So you expect your in-laws to be awful, just awful, 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 because that's been the lifelong story for many eras and just many religions. But for my particular case, I loved my in-laws. My in-laws were awesome. They were super awesome. And they gave me kind of like a new lease on life as far as understanding different facets and different values, but also, you know, the polarities against that too. So no family is perfect, right? But I got to see some wonderful things, and my life just changed. So when this dissolution started becoming more serious with its influxes, I was forced to say goodbye. A long time ago, I was removed. Dissolution has very many ties to it, and also unbindings. So I figured, you know, that I would respect space. I would respect the space of another, even if that particular person wasn't in the right mental state or mind to make those type of direct decisions with our relationship. So I respected space according to the surviving family members, given the dexterity of my particular situation. So I had spent time as much as I could with this with my mother-in-law, and I had to examine, once I received the news today by hearsay, just a few hours ago, after I finished my work thing and after making lunch with my kid, or having lunch with my kids, I find out at the table, and life presents itself in such an awkward manner, um it's just weird how to have expectations. I've got to say, like, if I were to have if I were to zoom out of this body, I would have to say that life is weird with all of its expectations. You throw yourself off, you know? So, what do we want to say about that? I thought we were having like a nice, lunch that I had made with my older son. And, with my younger son, we were just sitting at the table. And I can see that there was something weighing on one of them at the very least. And just things were a little awkward. Things were a little off. And that's when my older son told me what had happened earlier that morning while I was at work. And I think jumping into their shoes, like, I have to, I'm very concerned about that. Just as a normal mother, I'm just concerned about how they're going to cope through this, and what their levels of discernment are within this dissolution. Like, how is it also going to impact their direct activities with school and, their, growing relationships, their extracurriculars, and their personal time. So I'm trying not to worry too much, because that's basically what landed my mother-in-law in her position. All the added extra worries, and so I don't really know what to say about that, because my initial feelings were that I just I was kind of baffled. So I let go of the expectations, and I started interrogating myself, inquiring to be more gentle, until I, fell asleep. And then I woke up back renewed, realizing that that I was positioned in this sequence, and I already said I said my goodbyes properly, and so I have to thank myself for that, because there's only so much that I can handle, and there's only so many battles I can pick. So I decided to gain closure with my best foot forward, and part of like that was to help transition the family into the other side, into a sense of wellness, and um, gathering snippets of her remaining like vitals of a memory, and some things are just kind of just out of your hands. Like, you don't control anybody else's healing process. You don't. You don't. So, but I'm not going to negate from my efforts, because I know that they were solid. I know my intentions were good. And I know that the resources that I built to kind of time capsule her essence, for those that would appreciate it, are bomb. So, like, I'm not going to be hard on myself for not feeling very much at this time. So it's been a long time since I've burned a candle. I think it's been a week and a half or 2 weeks since I've had my cat. And that's part of the reason why, like, I don't want it to come into harm's way from its pure innocence and curiosities. So I decided to pull one for this. And it's a good detector also of negative energies and good. So right now it's solid and good. And I'm trying not to look at what's going on behind the numbers here, which is good, because it's up against, like, white font is up against like the creamish whatever going on in the background. So it's a good disguise. And I'm charging my phone, which makes it in landscape view. So there's an area of like hidden like sacrifice here, in its tonality. You just have to let go of what's coming, and you have to adjust. Like, I was propelled, is what they're telling me, to do this reading without any solid topic in mind, and just go with it to explore what comes of it. And I don't even know the right questions to ask right now, other than just to hash things out. So I have my phone charging on this landscape view so that I can move forward with this. And I think we're talking about looking at the horizon as is. What does it look like right now? And where am I relative to where I'm at? So what I was told that it was that she passed on Friday. And I think the most complex part of it was, what are my true motivations here? What is it? And I was a little worried about what it looks like on the outskirts, but more so, what are my motivations here? Like, I just really had to examine where I was coming from. Now that reality checked its mates. And like, there was a huge part of me knowing the reality of how my ex works, and like thinking about these things that are factual and solid within observations. It made me feel like I was the asshole here, like that this was just a ploy within its timing. And although it may be correct within asking for the will, prompting for the will, knowing that the executor is somebody who lacks accountability within the family, that she wanted to kind of, I just all of these things that were coming out in the raw, that was the truth. It's a huge responsibility to bear the truth. That, like, if you tell the it's a huge responsibility to bear the truth, because you have to add the added weight of, like, what are people ready to hear, and how are they going to hear it? I mean, would it be irresponsible to divulge something that's, that is absolutely correct? Sometimes you have to risk being the asshole of divulging such things, or asking for such things to validate certain things. And and so part of the purpose was, I was asking for the will and all of its variations and possible changes, from origination point to current, to examine the intentions of my ex, with having to, like, come at me for half of the house, and not paying spousal support, and not, like, paying up to the standards of the actual specifics of making a 6-figure income, and what that means for child support, like shorting me on everything. And I have a feeling that there were some changes with the will. So I wanted to examine, like, looking at the hard facts of what transpired behind the curtains, an area of contempt. And it was simply for that, and knowing that whatever is provided to me was within the good, righteous intentions of my in-laws, and that would be facilitators to supporting my kids, their grandchildren. Because, dude, like, I don't come after things just to, like, have finances to get my nails done, to get my hair done. Dude, like, the pictures that are painted versus what's actually coming to life on, behind closed doors, and numbers and hidden documents, etc. It's like, I found myself frustrated with that knowing. So I decided to get a green candle out. It's a muted green. I dressed it up, did my little, it's just a chill ritual, honoring new life, new life for her, new life for me, just new life in general. So I wanted to take a moment to just chill and reflect on that, because that's something that's actual. And I have the persona cards right here in front of me to help supplement that. And I was told to get, like, just a different set of cards that I haven't used in a long time, which goes perfectly with the color coding, and the intentions of this. So I'm pulling the Ostara deck. So it may be spring in your arena. Based on, like, I know that based on the hemispheres, that that we experience different seasons at different times. I didn't realize that. I totally didn't realize that until I started listening to other people's tarot. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It's fall over there, and it's, spring over here, or whatever. So I'm just trying to go with the flow of things that are life-giving. So we're going with Ostara Tarot. All right. Okay. Okay. So how are you doing today? I'm seeing something there. I hope well. I think I'm going to go with the answer deck too. Oh, hey, and if it's you, I gotta say thank you also for that last comment suggestion. It's weird, I didn't get a notification like I normally do, but I got it in a certain particular area. So I just noticed that kind of like while I was in transit. So it was a good suggestion. It was definitely good. So we have 10 of Pentacles facing the Magician. Huh. 10 of Pentacles opened up to the Magician. We also have an octopus here stating that. You know, an octopus is very much otherworldly. Oh, mind you, I think this is my mom's old shirt. It's cute. I hardly ever wear it because of the color coding, and I just never found a time where I could like don it. But I figured today, like with work and all of that, with what's going on, I don't know. I just felt it correct. I don't know. So anyway, maybe I have to find like the gray area, connect the dots and whatever with my heart chakra. So anyway, we have 10 of Pentacles reaching out into the Magician. Okay, the Magician is dealing with all sorts of cards, all like kind of encircling her, and all with eyes set upon them. Huh. There's a snail, a couple of snail berets on her head, as you can see. And there's a boat leading to her. So there's something leading to a greater knowing, like your little bitty self, the part that's underestimated, is driving towards like navigating across all of these cards to your higher self, your most absolute cosmic self. That's what it's showing me here. The like, little one right here, just like kind of getting to the middle. So we have Hamsa with the way we deal with both our left and right brain, as well as our recipient side and our doing side. So this is a huge manifestor card with an absolute inner knowing from wherever we're at to our soul counterpart. Yeah. So there's definitely something like there's like our higher selves are working as like a, what do you call it? A lighthouse? Yeah, it has a lighthouse effect. You see her eyes? Definitely. But it's coming in double time, you know, so whether it's expanding the coverage on the horizon. But this is insane, getting the 10 of Pentacles inverted. I mean, that's a lot of wealth brought into the great magician. And you know, the greatest magician is Jesus Christ. Like, come on. For sure. But first, I'm just surprised to see this because there's a lot of wealth coming through. There's a lot. Right before I did this reading, my stomach was feeling like, oh, what the fuck is that? So I don't know, like, I don't know exactly where this is coming from, but there's, the last reading that I did that was live was like freaking 2 hours long, or 2.5 hours long, but, it premeditated, it, forebode wealth, and and clarity, looking at self. I mean, I have the cards right here, the reflection point, wealth, the truth inverted, no longer a sense of vulnerability, you know, it's well, it's not to say that it's like sans vulnerability, but because it's considered like a strength builder, but now strong and basically grown, the storm has subsided and happiness is very much inverted here. Oh my gosh, it's Toto. You see? It was very strange to me to see it like this. Oh, and by the way, I discovered that my cat loves dice. I put it in that frisbee thing that I found at the beach, my go time bowl. And I put the conversation dice in it. Oh, it went nuts. It went nuts. It was so cute. And my cat was doing all sorts of divination. Like anytime he scrambled the dice and it like exited a certain way, like I was given messages. I don't know how. It was just insane. So anyway, new discoveries left and right. Anything else you want to say, Spirit? Like, yeah, we did that. What are we manifesting the last week of this month? And it's just reiterating itself. And oh, okay, so if you're definitely still here, with regards to that, I really, that was a very, very good, I don't even want to say suggestion. I would elevate that to a great piece of advice, because I do this divination, and you're right as far as weighing things out, belief in self versus belief in divination. Trust in self versus an outside thing. But this is not, I can't say this is 100% an outside thing, but let's say this, okay? When you give your more accolades to what you produce versus who you are, the maker, there's a certain amount of disrespect and disconnect within that stance. So you're never fully manifesting yourself like your very, very best when there is that disconnect. And so I appreciated that. I definitely appreciate that. Yeah. I just like the area of communication where it all comes together like this big puzzle. This that seems so random, but very much customized to the very particular moment. I just like seeing it come all together. So it's, peace of mind for me, reassuring that I was invested in that I trusted myself enough to come to that fruition. So that's where I'm coming from in that. But I think you were addressing the area of surprise, like underestimating what you bring to the table. So that's really good there. And I think that's important for my particular journey. What's coming through over here? We got 7 of Swords and the Emperor. Huh. Who's here? All right. Oh my goodness. What? It's a raccoon. But then... What? This is weird. Spirit's weird. Okay, give me a second. Hold on. Let me see what's on the bottom of that. 6 of Pentacles. Yeah, there's something about this raccoon, okay, going like, it's like stealing away, but it's not even like the bad stealing, because to be side by side with Spirit and Spirit looking the other way, it's almost like Spirit wants me to, or us, I mean, if that's the deal with you, like, because what was behind Spirit, I was like, what is Spirit looking at anyway? And I look underneath him, and it would be the Queen of Wands in reverse. So there's some undercover magic here, and there's nothing that I'm doing that I'm like, I'm like cooking up, brewing certain things, like within this, like, I'm hearing idolatry, or this concept of what a witch is. Like, I'm not doing that. So there's something of brewing underneath this, like under the surface, that Spirit would calculate as very much like magical, but validated. So there's something about doing something in the dark, you know, because raccoons come out like they're evening, they're active in the evening. And this is it Queen of Wands? Yeah, it's Queen of Wands. Okay. Is like doing something like underneath the surface, like underground. Oh my goodness. No. I have kin that are assisting me underneath the surface, like people who dabble in that stuff. So Spirit has like called upon them to assist me, like, you know, looking their way, like that's all that it takes, is that cue. While I'm doing the takeaway, because what was underneath that was the hair, the pirate hair. That would be Four of Pentacles. It's a sense of ownership, like I'm taking what's mine, and as I should. Let me just double check what's underneath that. Five of Swords in reverse. So it's not a one-up. It's something that's actual. What's on the bottom of the deck? Two of Pentacles in reverse. We keep getting the Two of Pentacles in reverse. I don't really feel imbalanced. I don't think that's a message there. I think some things are being weighed out as the polar opposite, which is being compromised. So while things are being compromised on one end, things are being weighed out on the other. Okay, what's on the top? The Empress in reverse. And the Hierophant in reverse. Three of Swords in reverse. What? That is weird. I have a feeling that my mother-in-law, being in a better place, is going to help correct the situation. Because she was the mother of, like, 30-something foster children. Yeah. So, if that's not considered Empress status as far as being, like, she was definitely not bougie, okay? But when she got to experience, like, during her wedding anniversary, the concept of luxury and getting your hair done and beautifying, like, it was just a different world for her, almost like magical. So she very much appreciated that world. But I think there was a sense of guilt as far as experiencing that much, like, wealth or pleasure, that it was like on a personal level that she felt herself kind of undeserving to those measures, and there was more wealth in the essence of giving to less privileged, not just sentients, but children more so. Definitely. So she's a different kind of empress. She bent the rules. Not all of us are perfect, because it did cause some undercover heartbreak for certain people within that kind of expansion. But it helped her escape, you know, it helped her escape and see the light. Because there was a huge amount of trauma from prior phases of her life. And that's what the cards are showing me. I mean, we got the Empress in reverse, the Hierophant in reverse, heartbreak, the, you know, undercover, the Three of Swords in reverse, Eight of Cups upright, you know, kind of a little bit of an escape. The Sun card, seeing the light, the absolute light, what it's worth, you know. And then the Devil. Yeah. Eight of Wands in reverse. There's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say about that. So I just wanted to validate a little bit more about what was going on this side. Oh my gosh. There's nothing else to say. Holy smokes. What's after that is the three cards that we were just talking about there. So she is definitely doing her magic under the surface. Oh my gosh, that is so crazy to me. What? She's helping me. Or she's going to help me. And it's not just me, it's the kids. And, you know, she can do... She can do so much more from the other side. That's kind of intense. Holy smokes. Okay. All right. Okay. So, what else do you want to say, Spirit? All right. So, if we stopped right now, I could say that there's a lot of value to what's been discovered, what's unfolded. Yeah. Because if she was in like perfect pristine condition out of like that sickness and breathing right here, like living, breathing right here, I know she would not she would be very upset with her son. She would be very, like, she would be livid. She doesn't stand up for that kind of abuse. I mean, she doesn't like, what is it, turn a cold cheek to that. She, that was never her intention to raise a son like that. I know that for sure. And I think that's the only reason why he felt like he could get away with the things that he did. So, what do you want to say, Miss? Can't say her name. Ace of Cups in reverse. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's the Gatorade cup, like. That's insane. I'm seeing, like, you know, that we don't need to stay quiet anymore, like mice, you know, being in reverse. We don't need to stay meek, anything of that sort. So we got the Five of Cups here. Huh. So what does that mean here? Because Five of Cups is saying goodbye. Oh. Can I get clarification on that? Because I don't know. That feels like an exterior energy. I already said my goodbyes. So I don't know if it's her saying goodbye, like just like plain and simple within its normal offering of the Five of Cups. So let's get clarification on that, Spirit. So, Miss, how would you like to clarify that? Okay. Queen of Swords. Oh. She said, like, what you offer is the truth. It's the all-seeing eye. It's an orb of energetics that's live. You don't need to see... Oh. You don't need to see me in order to know, to understand, comprehend, the connect. You see? So that is a goodbye, you know? Like, you know, just kind of, that's insane. It's a Queen of Swords, but it also has this stork or some kind of crane here. That's insane. Okay. I almost said her name. Okay, so let me see here. Some fell, but I think I'm supposed to get this on the top here. 9 of Pentacles. Dude, she's like, Tina, just like, don't worry about it, okay? Don't worry about it. Again, we have a cougar here. She's like, rest up when you need to. This is kind of her energy too. You know, like when things get hard, don't make it harder on yourself. Like you got to kick back sometimes, and that's what you can take ownership of. Like, yeah, again with the 5 of Pentacles strewn about down here. It's just saying, like, remember the 5 of Pentacles when that's like basically all that you had to make something of it. Plant those in the ground. You take ownership over the 4, and then, you know, it'll just keep budding. But to scrutinize and to, like, what do you call it? But to constantly hone in on this essence of lacking is not gonna do you any good, because even if you're making 6 figures or whatever, you could still land yourself in that 5 of Pentacles atmosphere like it's not enough. And so you're doing the right thing. Oh, she's wearing green too. Yeah. So she's like laying on kind of like a psychologist type of chair kind of thing, you know. So you know, she's just saying, like, you know, constantly vet yourself, and you don't have to go aggro on it either. There's grapes like on this canopy, whatever you call it. Yeah. And they're all coming into fruition with apples, right, like an apple tree right behind it. It kind of reminded me of the tree that was like right in front of their house, you see? It wasn't an apple tree, but it was very much like kind of had that like little wiggle to it, like just and that was at center point. And knowing that this is like hidden, there's a 4 of Wands right there within that canopy is very interesting. Yeah, that's excellent. Thank you. Okay. Is there anything you want to say to the kids? Oh. 7 of Cups. Again, raccoon eyes. Hold on for a second, okay? Okay, we're going to read the 7 of Cups, but first off, what that means is on the recipient side, to pay attention to your dreams, like to carry them along with you in the crowd, and not to forget about how vibrant they are, just because not just because, but just because they're yours. Now this has it looks like a different meaning to it, but that's intuitively what I'm seeing here. And I'm just speaking through her essence. Because I think there were a lot of dreams that she had kind of foregone and felt sacrificed to, because she didn't think she could do certain things. Like her voice was wonderful. Like she could sing, like she had a very beautiful voice, for sure. And once she got into the sickness, she could no longer identify with who she was. So when I told her about her voice, she just was just like, me? No. Like whereas it was different within her cognitive state in health. And it wasn't like she was like, yeah, I know. No, it was more like she would give credit to it, knowing that she always said that she had the voice, but then her sister had like the dance moves, that kind of thing. So that's how she did it, kind of like in a aloof kind of stance, a humble way of saying that. But when she was ill, she didn't recognize that as a part of herself. She thought it was like I was putting her on. But I remember how she would sing lullabies to the kids when they were small, kind of like swaddled. It was very like, I haven't even caught that in a movie, you know. There's no actress that could mimic that, you know. A masked woman carries a tray of spilling cups. She's the central figure in a crowd of masked animals. The Seven of Cups is a card that warns about the power of illusion. Life is presenting seemingly fabulous options for you to choose from, but you must look for the truth and not be swayed by shallow flashiness. Remember that if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. This card often alludes to romantic entanglements or emotional affairs. Okay. So there's that. I think that's a part of growing up too. Oh, I'm hearing well, I guess this is part of growing up. What is that? Is that Dammit from Blink-182? I think so. Oh, she always used to say like, damn it. Damn nabbit. Yeah, I think that's just a part of growing up, you know, paying attention to your dreams versus what everybody else's input is, and the lure as well, because it was on the recipient's side. So it's what you basically not just are receiving as you move along, but what's in tow. Like what you choose to receive, what you choose to carry. And some of that illusion is the flashiness of what giving more accountability to what other people say. So within our struggles, we have to look at like our lineage, like ancestral ancestral trauma, and how that's carried from one generation to the next because of the experience of what's learned Especially in the minor arcana of things until it hits the major. So, yeah, I think it's kind of important to look at that, where that comes from, so I can listen to that advice as well. Yeah. So there's that. Thank you so very much, Grandma. Where did I put the rest of the cards? Okay, so I'm gonna put the answer cards all together. Let's see if there's anything else here. Okay, closing thoughts from this deck, Spirit. Okay. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I'm wearing my grandma's earrings too. Things that were to be discarded. Yeah, things that were like kind of left behind in the shuffle of chaos, which dragged on for like a good, at least 2 to 3 years after. And, I think Jess is very essential in helping us figure things out. Definitely. I feel a big burp coming on with, yeah. So there's a lot of truth in that. Deep magic. Yeah, I think it's what's part of what keeps us honest in the end, because even the people that like don't deal well with the measures of grief and loss, the people that purposely fuck up because it's a reason to fuck up, or like a societal, what is it, societally acceptable, yeah, you know what I mean, whatever that reason is, it's very truth telling, and it's so raw in its telling that that those that have to repeat the story are those that are trying to build constructs around it like it was something else. So the more you beautify someone's closing, especially your own from a certain situation, there's no hard feelings really. What had to happen happened, and if I took the easy route, you'd know. You'd know. Like, the easy route is so obvious. Yeah. Like just with that lawyer, my ex's lawyer, whatever. Do you think I would be trying to, what do you call it? Like, what's even the wording for this? That I would be purposely withholding or complicating the process with the 5 to 6 hours that I invested in that paperwork alone, trying to understand it and trying to make it clear and organized. You think I would invest that much time to show like that I wasn't willing to cooperate? If that was the case, I would only spend 30 minutes and that would be the end of that. But to sacrifice X amount, like, dude. Anyway, let's just let it go. Let it go. So the more I let go of it, the less bindings I have towards it, which means that when you love something, you let it go and you set it free and you let its life do its thing. So that means that karma is going to come out to get them with no attachments to me. So it's beautiful. So we have this one and this one that fell on my right heel, tilted, like on the top. Like, so this is Knight of I don't know. Knight of Swords in reverse, focused energy. Let me just double check because we have the Two of Swords up here in reversal. Oh, it's like a mockingjay or a mocking. What is it? A bluebird. Signifier of my father-in-law. He was totally into those. Okay. So Knight of what is it? Swords. Is it? Frick. Knight of. No, it's Knight of Cups in reverse because it's on a boat. It's an emotion. It's in reversal. It's an emotional period for you. You may have recently allowed yourself to delve too deeply into a relationship or a project and are now coming back to reality. Be patient with this, and this potentially overwhelming phase will pass. Okay, so take it easy, Tina. Take it easy. That's the right foot forward. Things are unblocked here. Okay, those are the closing thoughts. And on top of the deck is Strength. How amazing is that? Okay. All right. Bottom of the deck is Wheel of Fortune. Let's move on. Let's move on. Again, we see a triad of beings here. All right. So this is, you know, a good, what do you call it? A good prompt to move forward here. So we're going to go ahead and set aside, no, we're just going to put away the ones that we had from yesterday. Just put it back in the deck. If there's repeats, then there's repeats. That's freaking wonderful. All right. All right. So we're going to get some directions here as far as like the dynamics. Moving forward, Spirit. What do you want to convey? What is it? Okay. All right. So, this is large communication, largely from on all four directions. Yeah, and then what opened up to that was this card. So let's go ahead and so there's communication back and forth from 1 to a set of 4 here. It looks like it's like on the right wing here. So here I am kind of on the left wing. So it looks like there's back and forth communication between myself as considered as a left wing, and then there's the right wing, which is like, you know, very much traditional. So there's more of communication going outwards than what's coming inwards. It's like a 3 to 1. What is it? 1 in 3 is communicating. No, 1 in 4 is communicating to me, and the rest are being kind of communicated. So, I think this is good because it's talking about like the objection of 1 to, like, so it's saying the odds are for me. May the odds be ever in your favor, and it looks like they are. You see the connections here. And then what that opened up to this card, which is also the top of the deck. So there's like this large figure, this kind of like a judge or something, to basically the jury, communication outwards to the jury. So I don't even know. I mean, when we look at this on an internal basis, we're looking at like our main person, like where this is where you're at, like this is like the pinpoint on the map, right? This is where you are, and these are different facets of yourself. So there's something about a growth within the communication of like outwards, and then there's this one objection where like giving some feedback, a certain part of yourself that has not been spoken up for. And I mean, that's part of vetting ourselves. Like, okay, so this is my personal life, this is my professional life, this is my, I don't know what, like my love life, this is like my like spiritual life. So looking within those kind of atmospheres, dude, I didn't even mean to do it like that. Just because, like, I didn't mean to label it so that one was speaking. I didn't mean to do it, but that's the way it was. I don't know. So there's that. And then there's your higher self. Keeping the others in check. Like, so this is what we're going to do. This is your roles within this, like, certain being of where we're at right now. And, that's very interesting. How to do it like that. Okay. All right. So that's the message for that. I'm not going to over, explain in that avenue. But, okay. Okay. One came up over here. It's this guy again. And then, my child in kind of in reverse. Huh. What the heck does that mean? So there's, a repeat observer that understands the feels. I mean, when we're talking about energy, it's not confined to singular, okay? But then on the recipient side, then they would, like, do things for us. And then on the recipient side, there's people who are coming through, like coming in, either with like an untapped inner child or inner child that's starting to be tapped into. There's a certain awareness in that. I don't know. Let's get a clarifier for that child card, Spirit. Okay, fine. Where are you? Okay. Yeah, it's inverted here. Okay. There's something about, like, this is something that's good. So, I mean, they are tapping into their inner child. I mean, because, like, freaking looks like crayons all, like, scribbled all about. Like, who am I as this person? And they're starting to, like, instead of connect the dots, because, like, that's not as fun to children. I mean, it's definitely a lot more fun to add color to the page, and as you like it. Okay. So there's that. I don't know what that means here, but that's a certain message. Oh, I think it has to do with, like, the different facets of yourself as well. This is part jury, part self-examination, but in different ways, different angles to see it. Through self-discovery, directly, as well as vicariously through another. That's what it's saying on those two cards. Oh my goodness. All right, anything else that you want to say, Spirit? I think that's, some people want to hear that, like, what's going on for them versus, like, what's always going on for me. So I think those cards were shed for you to know. Huh. Okay, and then we got these, which is a maiden. And then this was separate. Okay, so let me see here. Bottom of the deck is somebody, this is like a happy-go-lucky guy. Like, seriously, I think the frontal lobe is has to do with, like, memories, or I can't remember, or motor development, but there's something big about that person here. Definitely athletic too, judging by, like, the neck and the shoulders. This is a healthy person that it's not like, oh, I like to have a good time. No, this person just does have a good time, like, with wherever they're at. They've experienced some frustrations in life, because I see some lines over here, but they're not the lines like this, like, of what do you call it? There's it's different, like, the expressions. So this is not like of like furrowing of, like, this is not, they're life situations, but they're not of, like, skepticism. That's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, very much rooted individual. See, that red is vibrant. Top of the deck. On the outskirts, oh, there's some hateful energy coming through the ethers. You see? You see hateful energy. So I'm gonna just, I don't need to welcome that in. Let's put it in reversal and just throw it down. Like, seriously, let's put it in the deck. So what goes in there? Okay, so we've got like some old school pioneer girl stuff here, okay? I'm gonna trade. We're gonna do, that's what it's called, a trade. A trade, yes. When I was trying to think of what that thing is, when in sports, when they have to like change teams sometimes and they have to they do their picks. It's called a trade. Freaking, like, how many days did I even we did our trade. This is for sure. Okay. I'm substituting that energy and saying, like, go away. Just like rain, like, don't even come another day. Like, no, not welcome here. Okay. You keep to your own, binded within your own. We got pioneers here. Okay. All right. So looking at this, first it was the maiden, and then the trio was coming in central and touching the deck of the answer deck. So so we got some page, like youngin energy here too. Like, there's something like captivating about their eyes. There's more beauty added to its clarity because of its intangible clarity that it captures. And definitely, see? Yes, I. It's not just, oh, blue eyes. Okay, so the trio that we got here is like kind of like an older Lucille Ball here. And these two figures. So someone very like straight-faced, older, looks like African American. Not amused. Definitely not amused. And you know, someone, a gentleman suited up. I don't want to, like, he pulls a good poker face for sure. His smile is definitely, it's like a different person seeing this person smile. So that's how I know that this poker face is very much tied into like his, you know, his garb basically. See, can you imagine this person smiling? Like, totally different person for sure. So there's one person that's amused here because of understanding the likeness of this person. But the others, because there's such a drastic look, that they don't quite relate. This one absolutely won't relate, and this one might if you give them a little bit more to feed on. I don't know if that's room for worry, especially looking at the jury, because this looks like more like a 50-50 match here. But I'm not supposed to read into like too much of it. So let's go with the answer deck, okay? So now that we don't have anybody here right this particular moment, let's see what's this. Reconciliation in reverse, deception in reverse, justice in reverse, jealousy in reverse, the lovers, home in reverse, and ending in reverse. Again, I did not mean to get this card. Like, I put these away. What is this? Ending again in reverse at the elbow. So I'm rubbing elbows with the right people for a new beginning. It's the right elbow that it, like, I thought it was going to spin into an upright, and I didn't know what card it was, but spin into a different position, but it's not. This is supposed to stay up on my altar, and some things you just have to say goodbye to because all it means is deception. Like, and this is the act of dissolution, knowing that that's the closest to the truth that you could possibly get, and to a happy ending or a new beginning. So there's justice in here, no more jealousy. There's an absolute love for self, as well as attracting the right, being in the right character and attracting like so, and building foundations surrounding that. So there's a new beginning there, and it's tied into the full moon double time. I mean, like, to look at that, as above, so below. You see that, and then the moon there, as you can see. So it's no longer the ending, but a beginning on that level here. So these specific cards were on my altar. I tried to put them back in the deck, and they made their way out again after the room cleared. So the coast is clear, basically, for stuff like that to happen with this dissolution. There's a certain formality within ethers. I don't know why it's like that, but I think it's energetics. Yeah, I think it has to do more with energetics and principles. It's like, well, that's not proper. It has 0% to do with that, and more to do with like there's a lot tied into certain energies, and like I'm not the one to like be like semi involved. It's a lot of an investment. They're saying an event. Yeah, definitely. So with that, you have to like bid your time accordingly, bid your energetics accordingly, because it's our life is not faceted in just one view. So that's what they're saying. All right, so anything more you want to say, Spirit? Now, okay. Oh my gosh, this is so weird. It's making me sweat. Okay. It felt like right on top of that gentleman right there. You know. It was actually, who's not like, you know, like, what is it, not left wing nor right wing. It's kind of like there's a melding of the both pictures. So but the lady fell right on top of that. Huh. So there's an area of discipline where they kind of like, what is that? What does that even mean? Okay, let's get a clarifier for that, Spirit, because I don't know what you want me to say about that. Am I disciplining someone? What does that even mean? Okay, happiness, dark-haired man, and heartbreak. What? What does that even mean? Why would I get happiness and heartbreak in the same like hoop? Wait, what is that even like? I think, oh, you know, there's observers here that I cannot be involved with, like, on that level. So there's an area of disciplining within like this karmic connection, because it's like bittersweet almost. Like I reveal happiness, but at the same time they know what they did behind closed doors. They know what they did that was wrong, and there's no way that I would not find out, especially with the advancing proximity. They know, like there's no chance. There's no way for that. Okay. Okay. Why am I getting this? I think people just want to know how accurate I am, I guess, with my readings. So what else do you want to say about the crowd over here? Okay, so that secrets in reverse. Huh. Okay, let's get a clarifier for that. So I don't know if there's like secrets underneath the surface, or this is just the absolute truth on blast. Okay. So we have this like part 2 of the instructions in reversal, and what gain with peace in reverse. So these are people who are like fast movers, they're competitors. But they, there's two ways to see this. Like, okay, so I'm going to go with my initial thing on this is that people who are kind of like ride or die, but it ends up being ride or die for themselves. They're in this race to, like, you know, very much competitors, so much that they'll kick up the smoke, to the point where if they could, they would, and they would kind of like lose a sense of locations, like lose a sense of direction because they're kicking up so much smoke. That's how competitive they are. So there's a lack of peace within the yeah, these people are dissatisfied. Like, they know how to get to certain, like, these are strategists. They know how to get to there. They but they also throw out the rules. So it's almost like, I know it, I got it, and that's the truth of it. But there's something about how they find peace, like their inner peace is from secrecy, like keeping things very much under wrap, and that's part of like their MO as far as the character and what makes them like move so quickly at such a competitive pace. Okay. Oh my gosh, there was a troubleshooter, the card right behind it. So it could be that I am definitely reading them because of my practice, bottom of the deck, but it could also be that they're very much also card readers or like some kind of spiritualists within within this similar atmosphere. Top of the deck, generosity in reverse. So these are takers. Why would I, like, I'm not even trying to manifest this stuff, Spirit. Is it just like what goes hand in hand? What have you got to say about that? I mean, this is their energy, like, okay, what do you want to say about that? Mistake and growth. Yeah, these are people that are due to learn from their errors, and it's no mistake that they are here. Maybe they just, I don't know what the deal is, but that's what the deal is. It's a broken teacup. They've also, some of them have disrespected their ancestors. Like, they may have done like teacup readings, and that's an inherited type of skill or talent or ability that came from their ancestors. And they did something where they were not supposed to read into, like, they did something that was disrespect to the actual practice, and that's not the reason. That's not the reason why the skill was handed down to that particular person or to these people to be abusing. Like, when you think of teacups, you think of like fragility and a sense of prestige and respect, and to divinate within that setting of what's proposed. There are certain rules tied to that, and there's no cornering about it. You see, like, there's a corner end right there. So they know this. There's something that was like, there's something muted about their abilities because of what they did. There's like something that you cannot undo because, you see. So what I'm getting from that is that the handle is not broken, so they still have a connection point to that, but their abilities will never be the same, like as good, because of what they did. Like a portion of their vision of their divination is going to be broken, and that's part of leading to, like, that's karmic influence based on growth, like their need to grow, okay, and grow up. See, they're standing with the greats, and this is ancestral lines also speaking to them, like, you messed up, like, you should not have done that. And again, we're talking about discipline here. Yeah, my stomach has been growling, like, not growling, but like turning or something, and I don't feel anything, but I can hear it. There's like a coiling, like fluids, like all about. That's interesting. Okay. All right. Anything else that you want to say, Spirit? What about those characters? Like, I want to know about those, like, that, the two straight-faced people. Like, why did I even get that? What is the Fool card? Okay. So everybody's due for a journey. Everybody. Everybody's going to look like a fool, like a traditional fool, on their fool's journey. And that's just the way it is. And people are going to discover this on their own. So they're going to be like, oh, I shouldn't have judged that character. Like, I know, you know, kind of put in their place. Like, you are here. And, it's like, ta-da, or ta-dow. Okay. Inspiration. So there's a key holder. It's still within hand. And, I think the more I recognize my abilities rather than doubt them, especially when I see these like newcomers here that are not amused, not like whatsoever, like it's this major sense of like aversion. It's like, oh, so it's like kind of the key holder. Like the Fool is showing you a key as well. Like, see? You see how big this key is? Interesting. It's black and white here. It's a skeleton key. Oh my gosh. So it's talking about the skeletons in their own closet. Yeah. We have anxiety and storm. Oh, that's why they're not amused, because they know. They know what it's bringing. And even when they know about the truth, they're not amused, because it's like, these are things that are locked away. These are things that they're ashamed of. For sure. Bottom of the deck. Doubt. Yeah. They are in so much denial that, yeah, there's doubt. Like, they don't want to acknowledge that part. What the frick? What? Okay, what's behind doubt? Okay. Spirit, seriously. Battle. Yeah. This is an inner battle for them. That anybody who crosses, like, attempts to cross that threshold is like an kind of an enemy of the state that they are in. But the people that are off to the sidelines, like in their own home, understanding of their own temples, are like, they're watching, because they see what's going on, and there's a degree of hope for us all, is what they're saying. Okay, top of the deck is fame in reverse. I think people know me, like, seriously undercover. I don't understand it. That I don't. I don't know what that means for me, but there's something in, this is the first time that I'm seeing it like this. It's in the coming. It's like in gestation. This is the yoke of it, you know, the center point. So there's a spotlight towards it, like I am known, especially within my locality. Like, dude, social media is like such a crazy thing. I don't understand like how it is that people know this and that, but it's like, especially with like how based on your location and the feed and this and that, I think it's easier to connect people. AI is easier to connect people with suggestions and within a certain region. And you know, everybody knows like word of mouth like goes like travels like lightning speed. So there's something about like that. There's something about a gestation, because this is not just where it's at. This is not just where I am. This is what it's all cracked up to be. There's something more, and it's even more than just when it's turned up. Like, there is something more to it. Let me see. Can I see the second one? Strength. Yeah. They're like, it doesn't matter whether this is in reversal or turned up. You're still turned up. The energy is there. Like, in order to turn it up, you have to like turn it up. You know that it's like turned on. So it's there. The energy is there, and strength is right behind it. almost like Thanos, or the, you know, like what do you call it? In X-Men, the Sentinel, like the biggest, largest thing. But I don't know. I'm not supposed to read into too much of it. Okay, so middle of the deck, good fortune in reverse. Yeah. So magnetism. All right, right behind that, I'm just gonna leave it like that. What's here? New beginnings in reverse. So that is what? There's something underneath the surface. Something is a brewing. What? All right, we got the strength card double time. I'm just noticing that here. Okay, closing thought, spirit. Like we're done now. Unless you want to do bananagrams, I don't know. This is the 6 of Cups in reverse. So this is about receiving now. Or no. 6 of Cups in reverse is so these are kin, these are undercover kin. Oh, okay. They're undercover because they're allowing us breathing room. Because right then, I felt my nostrils, like, cleared up from, you know, getting teary-eyed earlier. And so, like, there's, like, a suction of, you know, like, the whatever internal, like, mucus or whatever. Like, I could feel it, like, kind of, like, in my throat a little bit. But, like, it cleared my nasal passages. So, something about breathing room on that. And that's the way things are right now. But what are they looking forward to? What is that? 3 of Cups. Huh. Celebrated. On the transition. Because there's like frog energy right there too. Ribbit. Yeah. 3 of Cups. Huh. Interesting. Okay. I haven't, you know, I don't, it's okay if you, yeah. I was gonna say, it's okay if you have to leave. It's all right. Just because, like, this is an extended reading. Like, dude, what time are we on now? Yeah. Okay, what's up for me? Oh, lot. Okay, so OIAPG, and then I also on strength. So it's being turned on, full power basically on strength. IPA. Somebody drinks like beer or something like that. IPA, go. So, go? OG beer. Oh, that's what they're saying. They're saying that we're a different brew because it's OG IPA. And it's also go. I go. Yeah. Something's a brewing. That's interesting. What? All right, next. AENWUASDIYOYCBISUGNU. So we have sung, sing. I'm hearing sing for the year. Is that from Eminem? All right. We have a bunch of letters that we normally don't have. I'm seeing escape. ESCAPE. Yeah, we have escape. We also have sweet. No, there's no T here. I don't know why. Sweet escape is correct here. But there's no T. So the only thing that I can gather from that is that there's no, oh, there's no T. Oh, that's good. Okay. So this new journey that we're on is not going to have your BST. You're not going to have like the hearsay of like clicks and, you know, all of that. Or, no. The Sweet Escape does not include any of that. Okay. We don't indulge in any of that. Skin. But it's without the K, but it's seeing something about C is a substitute for skin here. On it's a substitute for K here. So yeah, it's about looking beneath the surface, being like beauty is skin deep kind of thing. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Seeing beyond the skin. Okay. Cuddy. Yeah. Okay, do we have names here? Okay. This is throwing me in for a loop because there's like all kinds of letters that I'm not used to having here. We have Ben, Benny, so we have LGBTQ community here as well. Boo, people who are more into like the whole Halloween vibe right now. That's where their mind's at. We have USC, people who are representing for that. So maybe there's games that are something about USC. Anyway, Sun here. Dude, there's a lot of names here though, and it's I'm not used to. Okay, I'm not gonna mind the audience. It's gonna be okay here. It's weird because we have all kinds of new letters, but we don't have an R or a T, which really throws things off as with names. Cindy. Young, Y-U-N-G. We also have Young, Y-O-N-G. Or Y-O-U-N-G, excuse me. I'm seeing API a lot here, and I don't know what that acronym stands for. Maybe, I know somebody else does here. Diana. Cain, C-A-I-N, with or without the E. Sudan. All right, I'm going to scramble the letters again because this is really not... Oh, I see Wayne. W-A-Y-N-E. Abe. Also Gabe. So we have Gabriel here. We normally don't have that. Angie. So that means we have Angela here. I'm seeing Geo here for like geocache. So some of you are like, you know, like those, what is it? Scavenger hunts. Definitely. scope. Yeah, so something about the journey, like the scavenger hunt, the scope, like your tools are coming into order. Resources are coming to light. CAD, also the blueprints, the footprints that you're also part of, like the mapping process on. I'm seeing Escapade. Right. Escapade. Yeah, Escapade. Oh, Janet Jackson's here. Or, you know, the music, Escapade. We'll have a good time. Leave your worries behind. Yeah, that's so crazy. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so we have Escapade there. I see BOGO too, buy one, get one. So on this journey, it's like, even though you're investing in a certain thing, you're due not just for an equal return, but also the match of that. So think about it as like a spiritual 401k match type of thing. So it's buy one, get one here. They said not to neglect your use, not like the preservation of the aesthetics, because again, we're talking about skin deep, but also in, you know, the essence, the life force within that. So most definitely, it's still separate though. It's a separate topic, it looks like, until I can get it connected here. So give me 1 second to figure that part out. I also see swine here, so there's inevitably going to be that, you know, gatecrasher type of energy that feels above it, and, you know, just like they're in that much need of attention, so they're just gonna kind of do their thing. So but they're also saying let bygones be bygones. Yeah. I'm seeing that energy here. CBYG. Give me a second. Oh, they're also saying bye. And once you say goodbye to that energy, you don't give it attention anymore. You just greet it with that affirmation. They're gone. They're gone. Okay. Let me. Yeah. It's drawing back to that reading where it's like, see ya, like that bye Felicia energy. Like there's nothing left to say except goodbye, goodbye. Okay, you're done. Okay, goodbye, goodbye. You know, there's a sense of humor in that within our interactions. That when it calls for it, that's what you deliver. Yeah, they're saying nice. Okay. Also bio. Okay, so bio is a life form that the reverence for energy, sentience, you know, within its making. So whether this person or that person likes to define themselves in certain manners, let them create their own bio, let them write their own story, let bygones be bygones, and that's kind of like how it's shared on the B. So leave your worries behind as much as possible. That's what it's saying here. Yeah, because the SS is kind of there's a point where they can interlock based on that corner that they connect. So I think the SS Minnow was the name of the boat that Gilligan's Island, you know, kind of was based off of. So we have a bunch of vowels left as well as a W. So we got to find placement for that. Gia here, we do have something about addict energy. Yeah. Gia fell, you know, victim to her own, like, cavings in. So, yeah. What else do we have here? What is, was, and never shall be. That's what they're saying. Huh, that's interesting. Okay. You know, I realized yesterday. That's interesting. You know, I find it humorous when I forget about the head count on here, and I'm just doing the reading, and I'm seeing, you know, like originally that there were people on here, but then when I jump back into the reading, like I forget about it, and I'm reading as though somebody else is here as well. But then like I'm kind of certain about the energy because like I'm really into it, and then I look up and there's a 0, and then it's like it's kind of funny the way things work like that. And it's like a minor reality check. It's not, I don't think it's meant to keep any of us humble, but I think it's more like the message, the hidden embedded message is that you've got to enjoy what you're doing. You've got to be proud about it. You've got to be fully confident about that, regardless of whether you look up and there's numbers or they're not. That there's an essence of looking up and just in belief that you are connecting with other sentients, because what you're doing is within your life force. What, you know? So there's that. Oh. Yeah, so they're saying, even when foundations are like your last foundation is like dropped, like hits the tower moment, and it seems like you don't have very much, you still owe it to yourself to like get into that vibe of what escapade. Yeah, that you owe it to yourself to leave those worries behind and like just have a good time with life. So definitely, seriously. Okay, there's more to this. So do. Huh. Yeah, they're saying that that's well overdue. I think we've been a little hard on ourselves with what's going on. Again, IPA, something about brewing. Is that right? Something also about August, too. And gold. Oh, you know what they're saying? Whatever what we're doing is like, is there's like gold under armor here. We're a special concoction of what spirit has in mind. So our magic is ever growing, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Give me one moment if I can just gather this here. How do I do it? There? Is it gonna do it? There? Yeah. So you see, the magic is ever growing here. But now you can see, like, as far as like IPA and gold, and then Under Armour here. But without, you know, the Under Armour thing, there's still like absolute happiness here. Eyes wide open, as well as shut. There's also a huge amount of magnetism here. There's a lot of pull as far as happiness is involved. The happier we are with our eyes open, not like without, like, you know, when there's a lot of shit going down, sometimes you want to like experience happiness with your eyes closed, kind of like a soulful thing, like when as a singer does. No distractions whatsoever, just within that moment. However, when you keep your eyes open, there's a certain appreciation and acknowledgement for what is, and so it just magnetizes like left and right, just like it pulls. And it doesn't even have to be absolutely directly on point, but that it means that it's so powerful that the pull is coming in within a greater magnitude rather than the just direct pulls of that area. So that's the first time that I've ever gotten that there. And so the magic is living, whether embodied within a personal experiences or within like a you know, a interactive form, that whether isolated or this is they're talking about it in an absolute form, because that's you know, growing magic right there. And that's within like the pauses of life. And so when I was talking about owe it to yourself, with the foundations being like kind of like, you know, hitting the tower moment, even when you only have like a one story kind of thing deal going on, you definitely owe it to yourself on that level. Okay. within the new information that has come along. So I no longer need to experience frustration with like certain methods of how um, how this certain life event um, will be used as, how it could be used as this or that. Because we're still working with some factual items of, what needs to happen. And I have to surrender to a certain understanding of what I know reality to be within its finest form, which is understanding my mother-in-law being who she is and how she was, and looking like I understood her even before I met eyes with spirituality, while I was still within like the confined rules of religion, which is like, I'm not trashing that. It's just more like I feel like my stance now has become more elaborate and giving. So as far as growth, and so looking at it across the timeline of knowing her, there's so much more love and prospects in that kind of energy, as well as me in isolated view, that it would be futile to have to worry about like how certain how certain mistruths may come about, how people may manipulate certain energies and situations in order to paint a certain picture. Like at a certain point, you have to trust in what is life-giving and maintaining, like what promotes the growth, what, yeah. So I think that's the best way to go, not just so that I could sleep at night, because that's not even the issue there. It's it's also like, how do I um continue to like rear my children through certain life events without disconnecting, because a dissolution doesn't mean that for 100% of our lives, like there's still there's still connections that are um, meant to keep going, um, and that I'm responsible for too. Like that's like like I love being a mother. So I try to figure out ways in which to do that without becoming so burdensome, because that's besides the point. you know. Um, so anyway, this has led to a lot of awareness, so I'd like to thank my sponsors and my supporters, with the inclusion of our ancestors, higher selves, spirit, angels of love and light, ascended masters of the like. I already said ancestors. Star families, I forgot, of the like. And yeah, so your light and love is received and employed accordingly. Thank you for respecting my time, my space, my energy, my work, my health and wellness, and that of our children's. So, upon closing all portals, I send all energies back to their appropriate locations outside of mine with their appropriate karmas due, assisting with that sequence of rollout. In light and love, I close all portals.